Hello everybody, welcome to the tutorial that runs you through the fusion work for the control panel. This is part of the the pill speaker project, and this will run you through the basic fusion work to set up your control panel ready to turn into a drawing and then to laser cut later on. So what you're looking at here is a finished control panel. It's got a few features that I'll talk you through now, and then we'll actually get into the building of it. So you can see that if I'm in Fusion, I'll run you through all the tools that we can use, but very briefly, I'm just going to rotate this so you can see the product that we've actually designed here. This is a flat piece of 3mm acrylic plastic, which is going to form the front face of the pill speaker. This is what all the controls are attached to. So you can see here that the way it's been set up, it's a rectangle to fit the rectangular shape of your box. It's also got a series of holes cut into it. So this hole here is a 7mm hole, and that's for your volume control. This hole is another 7mm hole, and that is for your input jack to run a cable in to get the audio signal into the speaker. And this is a 16mm hole, and that is for your switch, the on-off switch. These series of rectangular holes here are just the speaker grill, and the grill is just for the sound to get out, and at the back of this grill will actually be the speaker mounted on the reverse of the panel. So the panel's also got a job of attaching itself to the box, and that's what these 4 holes around the outside are. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. And they're just 3mm holes that are drilled into the plastic, and they're there so you can fix it to the timber. A fairly simple part. It doesn't have any sort of real 3D characteristics apart from a sort of a 3mm thickness. It is basically a flat panel. So it should be a fairly simple CAD part to build, but I'm going to walk you through the steps of actually building this thing up from scratch, and hopefully you can follow this tutorial and then do that yourself. So if I start from a blank CAD file, this is Autodesk Fusion. Fusion is a 3D modeling piece of software. It starts with a sort of a blank universe, if you like, and this is usually the view that you get when you open it up. So you can see I have a red line here and a green line. They're called axes, and what they are essentially sort of ground directions, okay? So they're flat. They give you a sense of where the bottom of the universe is in Fusion. The sort of dot in the middle is the center of that universe. And you can manipulate that view using a few sort of view tools along the bottom. So I have an orbit tool here. And if I click that and then sort of move my view around, you can see the ground sort of shifts as I shift that tool. I'm holding the mouse button down to do that. I've got my pan tool here. So if I shift to that, I can move my view side to side, which is actually a super useful thing to do. And then I've got my zoom tool here, so I can go closer or further away from my model. And that's actually pretty useful too. I'm actually cheating here and using my mouse wheel to do that. So if you do have a mouse, it actually works pretty well. But that's usually the way that you sort of look at detailed features and then zoom out to look at the whole model. The other navigation thing you're going to use all the time is this. We call this a view cube on the top right hand corner. And this is basically the orientation of the world. Okay, so I can click on any face of the view cube or these little triangles and rotate my view to sort of the front, the right, the back, the left-hand side. I can go to the top of the model and back down to the bottom, or I can actually rotate the model using these little arrows off to the side. So rotate left, rotate right. It's just a good way to orient your model so that you're looking at it the way you want. In my case, I'm actually going to go front view. I'm actually going to be looking dead at the model, and that seems to be a good way to go. And I'm just going to sort of pan my model. So I'm looking at this. Here's the origin down here. I'm looking at this sort of top right-hand corner. All right, now at this stage, what I'm going to do is build my first component for the control panel. And this introduces me to this create panel up here. So these are the tools that you use to get started for the first time. And usually in Fusion Land, the very first thing you do is you make what's called a sketch. A sketch is just a drawing. It's done using digital tools. And the purpose of a sketch is to then turn that sketch into something three-dimensional. So the simplest example I can imagine is if you were going to make a sort of a cube, you would start with a square. You draw a square and then give it some thickness. If you were going to make a cylinder, you would start with a circle and then you would extrude that into a solid to make it 3D. So the sketch tool is the first tool. So I'm just going to jump straight in and hit create sketch. So I'm just going to press that button. And what it's in now is in Sketchland. Inventor sort of flicks between Sketchland and 3D land all the time. So I'm in a sketch at the moment, okay? And if I'm in a sketch, basically what that means is I can actually go ahead and draw things. What it's asking me for before I can actually start drawing is, like, what surface do you want to draw on? Okay, just because I'm looking at the front doesn't mean it knows that I want to draw on the front, right? So I've actually got to pick a surface to draw on. And in this case, here's my sort of my front plane. It's actually already highlighted that for me. So I'm just going to pick on that plane and say, yep, that's where I want my sketch to be. And here we are. At the moment I do that, the moment I'm in my sketch, you can see that my control panel's changed. Fusion knows that I'm in Sketchland now, so it knows that I actually might want to use Sketch Tools, so it's changed my toolbar. And in this case, what I want to do is pick the rectangle tool, and I just want to draw my rectangle for my control panel like this. Now, the most important thing to do here is not to get the size right. You can see the numbers on the left-hand side and the bottom are moving depending on, how big I make that rectangle. But the most important thing is to note that I've actually nailed the bottom corner of my rectangle to the origin. So I haven't done it like this. I'll just show you the bad way to do it, which is to float it out in space. That's usually a really bad idea because then the model's got no anchor point. It's usually just a good idea to make sure the first point is the origin, and then I'm expanding out from there. Okay, so I've clicked twice in each corner to make my rectangle. That's basically my control panel. I just hit escape there on my keyboard to get out of the sketch tool. That's also a pretty important tool to get used to. The idea that you can actually just, exit from tools or processes using the escape key. It's a button I use all the time. And in this case, I actually just need to pan my view now to get that rectangle in the center. Okay, now at this point, I have no idea how big that rectangle is. I suspect it's very, very wrong. So what do I do about that? Well, I need to start adding some sizes. These are dimensions. So if we go back up to our sketch tool panel and look at the tools that we've got, there's a sketch dimension tool. This is also one that you use all the time. If I pick on that and then pick on an edge, you can see what it's doing is actually pulling out a measurement, okay? And then it'll give me the chance of actually putting in my own measurement. So at the moment, the line that I drew randomly was 47.4551, etc. millimeters. I actually want that to be 125. So I'm just going to type that in and hit enter. And you can see what it does. It just sort of dynamically changes the size of that line and actually builds me a much, much bigger rectangle, sorry. And I'm just going to sort of zoom out using my zoom tool or my mouse wheel, so I can actually see that edge again. And I'm going to go back then and add another dimension across the top, and I'm going to change that one as well. So I'm going to change that to 250, and that's now the correct size of my control panel. Now, just a word of warning on this, folks. Just because I put 125 and 250 on mine doesn't mean that that's the same size as yours. And if you remember, we spent quite a lot of time in the workshop measuring the exact dimensions of your wooden box so that we could design the control panel exactly right. And that's what's on the drawing that you did by hand. So your numbers need to match your dimensions because that's what's going to make it fit your box. It's not a very good idea to take my numbers because they're almost certainly not right for you. But anyway, once you're happy with that, I've hit escape again just to get out of the dimensioning tool. Hopefully your sketch looks something like this. And then what I'm going to do is go over here and hit this big green tick, which is finish sketch. That's just closed off the sketch, so I can't modify it anymore. Interesting thing about that is if you go over here to the left-hand side of the feature tree, this is like your history, if you like. You can see that I've got sketch 1 here itemized. Now, it's usually a good practice to rename these. So I'm actually going to go control panel plastic sketch. I'm actually going to rename that so I can remember what that sketch was used for, because once you've got sort of, in big models, 20 or 30 sketches, almost impossible to remember what sketch is what. And that makes it hard to navigate around your history to make changes. So I've just done that, control panel plastic sketch. And what I'm going to do now is turn that plastic sketch from something 2-dimensional into something 3-dimensional. So what I'm going to do is click on that, and I'm going to hit this button up here. This is extrude. And what that does is it adds some thickness to the model. Now, there's a couple of things I've got to do, and they're all here in this little extrude dialog box. the first thing I've got to do is tell Fusion what I want to extrude. So I'm going to click inside the rectangle and say that's what I want to extrude. And then it's going to come up with, okay, how far do you want to extrude that? So I'm going to say 3 millimeters. I don't even have to type in mm actually, but I will just for the sake of it. And it's then going to say, okay, you've got one item selected to extrude. You've got a distance of 3 millimeters. I don't want taper angle. That's a more advanced thing. I just want to leave that alone for now. And I want it to be a new body. A new body is like a new part. So I'm actually making a new piece of plastic out of this. So if I go okay, this is what I get. If I use my orbit tool now, we can see that basically what I've done is extruded a 3 millimeter rectangle. Okay, so that was pretty successful so far. So I'm just going to accept that and say, yes, that's a great outcome. Thank you very much. I'm going to go okay and then hit my front view. Now I'm going to do these videos in about 10-minute blocks. Okay, so this video being about 11 minutes already, I'm going to stop this video now, save this, and then title it, Fusion Introduction and Basic Extrude, and then I'm going to go on to the next features after that. So I'll see you in the next video.